How many of you have a graveyard? Not a real one, a different kind. A graveyard of ideas. It's where you keep the novel you were going to write, the business plan that's still just a bunch of notes, the guitar in the corner gathering dust, the language you were going to learn still stuck at hello and thank you. We all have this place, a quiet, dusty corner of our minds where our most vibrant dreams go to die. And the silent, patient, and ruthlessly effective killer of these dreams has a name we all know. Procrastination. We talk about it like it's a cute quirk. Oh, I'm such a procrastinator, we say with a laugh. We blame it on laziness or a lack of discipline. We download productivity apps, buy planners, and promise ourselves, tomorrow I'll be different. But tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year, and our dreams remain buried. What if I told you that procrastination has almost nothing to do with being lazy? What if I told you it's not a character flaw, but a deep-seated survival instinct gone wrong? And what if I told you that you could start beating it? Not next week, not tomorrow, but today. For years, I believed I was fundamentally lazy. I would have a brilliant idea, feel a surge of excitement, and then nothing. I'd clean my entire apartment, organize my bookshelf by color, watch a 3-hour documentary on the history of paperclips, anything to avoid the one thing I knew I should be doing. The guilt was crushing. It felt like I was at war with myself. There was the part of me that wanted to create, to build, to achieve. And there was this other, stronger part that just wanted to watch one more episode on Netflix. The breakthrough came when I stopped asking, why am I so lazy? And started asking a different question. What am I afraid of? Neuroscience gives us a fascinating answer. When you think about a big, important task, that novel, that business, your brain can perceive it as a threat. Specifically, the amygdala, the primitive lizard brain part of you, lights up. It doesn't see exciting opportunity. It sees risk of failure. It sees potential for judgment. It sees discomfort and hard work. And what is the amygdala's only job? To keep you safe, to make you run from danger. So your brain does something brilliant. It says, hey, instead of facing that scary, uncertain thing, why don't we do something that gives us an immediate hit of pleasure and relief? Let's check social media. Let's eat a cookie. Procrastination isn't a time management problem. It's an emotional management problem. You're not avoiding the task. You're avoiding the uncomfortable feelings associated with the task. Fear, self-doubt, anxiety, boredom. So how do we fight back? You can't out-discipline your own survival instinct. You have to outsmart it. Here is a 3-step method, grounded in psychology, that you can use the moment you feel procrastination creeping in. I call it reframe, shrink, and celebrate. First, reframe the internal battle. When you procrastinate, what's the first thing you do? You beat yourself up. Ugh, you're so useless. Why can't you just get it done? This self-attack just adds more negative emotion to the pile, making the task even more threatening to your brain. It's like trying to put out a fire by spraying it with gasoline. Instead, reframe it. Acknowledge the feeling with compassion, like a scientist observing a phenomenon. Say to yourself, there's that feeling. The resistance, the fear. Interesting. You're not a bad person. You're a human being having a human emotional response. By simply acknowledging the feeling without judgment, you take away its power. You separate yourself from the emotion. You are not the fear. You are the one observing the fear. Second, shrink the task. Your lizard brain is scared of the giant 5,000-pound mammoth of write my novel. It's not scared of a baby rabbit. So you need to shrink the task until it's so small, so laughably non-threatening, that your brain doesn't even see it as a task. This is the famous 2-minute rule. Don't write the first chapter. Open the document and write 1 sentence. Don't go for a 5-mile run. Put on your running shoes and walk out the front door. Don't launch my business. Open a new tab and Google one competitor. The goal isn't to finish. The goal is to start. Because what happens once you've written one sentence? Well, writing a second one doesn't seem so hard. What happens when you're already outside in your running shoes? You might as well walk for 5 minutes. Starting is the hardest part. The 2-minute rule is a Trojan horse. You sneak past the walls of your fear, and once you're inside, you realize it's not so scary after all. You've tricked your amygdala. And third, the most important step, celebrate the start. Our brains are wired to repeat actions that lead to rewards. The problem with big dreams is the reward is months or even years away. We need an immediate win. The moment you complete your 2-minute task, you must celebrate. I don't mean go buy a car. I mean a genuine internal moment of acknowledgement. Close your eyes and tell yourself, I did it. Feel the small surge of pride, a little mental fist pump. You have just created a new neural pathway. You've started to teach your brain that starting feels good. Start, tiny action, immediate reward. Over time, that loop becomes stronger than the old one. Of start, greater than fear, greater than avoidance. Reframe, shrink, celebrate. Imagine if you did this just once a day. Just one 2-minute start. What happens after a week? After a month? That one sentence becomes a paragraph, then a page, then a chapter. That one Google search becomes a business plan. The dust on that guitar is replaced by fingerprints. The graveyard of dreams begins to empty out, not through some heroic overnight transformation, but through a series of small, compassionate, and consistent acts of courage. The title of this talk is How to Beat It Today. So I have a challenge for you. Not for tomorrow, but for today. When you go home tonight, I want you to think of one dream you've laid to rest in your graveyard. Just one. And before your head hits the pillow, I want you to give it 2 minutes of life. Just 2 minutes. Open the laptop, put on the shoes, pick up the guitar, write one line of code, send one email, reframe the fear, shrink the first step. And then, please, celebrate the fact that you started. Because dreams aren't killed by one catastrophic failure. They die from 1,000 daily cuts of inaction. But by that same logic, they can be brought back to life, one tiny 2-minute breath at a time. Start tonight. Thank you.